Coming up on AgweekTV, the ethanol industry gets a win this week on E15. We'll take you to the groundbreaking of the Precision Ag building here at South Dakota State University.
I traveled to Cedar Rapids, Iowa for the federal fraud sentencing of Daryl Dwayne Smith, whose multi-million-dollar scam started to unravel at a meeting at Grafton, North Dakota, covered by Ag Week.
And harvest delays plague the region's farmers. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The ethanol industry got a much-awaited announcement this week from President Trump while he was in Council Bluffs, Iowa. The president says he's directing EPA to draft a rule to lift the Reed vapor pressure rule and allow year-round sales of E15. The move is welcomed by farmers and biofuel industry leaders, and they say over time it will significantly increase corn demand and prices.
You know, I would say over time it has the opportunity to increase corn demand by 2 billion bushels.
E15 is a way for us to build another market to bring prices back and get corn profitable again.
The E15 rule is likely to face legal challenges by the oil industry. However, to aid refiners, the president also asked EPA to examine ways to improve transparency in the RINs, or Renewable Identification Numbers market. An Iowa man will serve nearly 15 years in prison for a fraudulent biofuel scheme. Daryl Dwayne Smith is accused of making millions of dollars in unauthorized withdrawals from his victims' investment funds to fuel his plans for biofuels plants. Smith pleaded guilty in a deal that limits the case to the 10 biggest victims, whose losses were more than $2.4 million. Mikkel Pates talked to some of them about the case.
Some of the victims of a biofuel scammer lost money. Others say they lost much more.
There was no reason not to believe him.
Betty Lou Loss says she and her husband were very interested in investing in ethanol plants, and Daryl Smith earned their trust, but they lost $175,000 investing with Smith, and Betty Lou, who is 85, has no hope of recovering any of it.
I know it's lost. I'm one of these people that what happens has happened and it's gone, it's gone. Forget about it.
In addition, she spent at least $25,000 on lawyers. Law's daughter started learning about the situation at her father's funeral. She started asking some questions about Smith and soon became part of the FBI's investigation. But she suspects her father had some idea that there was a problem with his investment before he died.
I think toward the end, I think Dad was already starting to question this guy. I think it worried on him, yes.
And may have affected his health, you think?
Yeah.
After his parents died, Clyde Odom Jr. also made a terrible discovery. Smith had stolen more than $1 million from them.
Daryl stole my identity, and he removed funds from accounts and trust funds using my name and my initials.
Dr. Joan Priestley is another investor. Her family lost more than $500,000 to Smith.
The lesson to me is to pay close attention to investments and not just head south and trust them to someone else. Especially in a company that is not publicly traded, and it can be very difficult to obtain accurate financial information.
My purpose here is to see a crook, a con man, a liar, a thief go to jail and serve time for that.
In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, this is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.
Mikkel will have more on this story in the next Ag Week magazine. Corn farmers are just one sector of agriculture breathing a sigh of relief that the U.S. was able to finalize a new trade deal with Mexico and Canada. Mexico is the #1 customer for U.S. corn by volume, and Canada is a top market as well. So the zero tariffs that were kept in place on ag goods are huge long term. The deal also takes the uncertainty out of the market that it caused the two trading partners to start buying from other sources.
They reached out, developed new relationships with other trade partners, and they said, our U.S. corn is still our preferred source, but we've got to make sure to secure food and feed grains for our people.
The USMCA still has to be ratified by the governments of all three nations. Changes to the Canadian grain grading system were a big win for U.S. agriculture in the new USMCA deal. The Canadian wheat grading system has long been viewed as unfair by U.S. wheat growers and organizations. The reason is U.S. farmers selling north of the border see their wheat treated as feed, even if it's a variety approved in Canada and of milling quality. The new agreement revises the grading system and makes U.S. wheat equivalent to Canadian wheat. Meanwhile, with this trade deal struck, USDA Secretary Sonny Perdue says he expects the agency to recalculate the trade aid payments to farmers.
This is a grain bin, but we're not on a farm and it's not holding any grain. You'll be surprised what is inside, and we'll give you a look up next on AgweekTV.
My name is Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called a corn stalk guide. Helps guide corn stalks into the grabs and the chains a lot smoother without losing corn. The corn stalk, when it comes off of our product, it's already on the gathering chain instead of being able to hit that idler. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
When harvest comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. Northstar Ag offers the Lofness GrainLogix Grain Bag Loader to deliver versatile grain storage performance load after load. Lofness's user-friendly grain baggers are easy to load and unload, perfect to get your harvest in the bag. Northstar Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery, and is a full-service Meridian hopper bin dealer. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used equipment inventory or give us a call.
When grain flow becomes blocked in your bin, it can cause costly delays, safety concerns, and expensive equipment repairs. Superior Grain Equipment's premium unloading system, featuring their patented blockbuster auger, keeps you and your equipment running safely and efficiently by breaking up blockages near the center sump gate to allow for continuous grain flow. Operated from outside the bin, the blockbuster could be engaged independently from the sweep, eliminating the need to enter the bin to clear blockages. Superior products for superior bins. Only available from Superior Grain Equipment.
If you get right down to it, what's a farmer's job? Well, farmer's job is to feed people. Farmers collectively, our job is to feed the world. At Peterson Farm Seed, we get to have a little bit bigger picture right in our region. We get to help those farmers that we work with increase their productivity, increase the yields that they get on their farms, and as a result, more people can eat.
Explore the convergence of agriculture and technology at Cultivate 2018 on November 15th. Cultivate is an emerging technology in agriculture conference hosted by Emerging Prairie of Fargo. Connect with industry leaders and farmers and learn about how the latest tech innovations are being utilized in agriculture. For more information, visit emergingprairie.com.
AgweekTV, presented by Kaler Farms.
Grain bins, silos, elevators, and other structures dot the prairies. They each have an important role in agriculture, but some are finding new uses. Rose Dunn visited a Minnesota couple now calling a grain bin home.
A few years ago, Brian and Cynthia Bachman wanted to downsize into something low maintenance and different.
We've always been real creative about our houses. In fact, one of the first houses we built was octagon shape. And interestingly enough, at that time, he had said to me, don't ever think you're going to be getting a round house because that's going to be too complicated.
I looked at a few different things, containers. Would have really liked a fuselage out of a 747, but we couldn't move that.
They finally decided a grain bin was the way to go. They first planned to buy and move a used bin, but discovered a new one would be more economical and easier to work with.
Because I didn't need all of the floors, the dryers, vents, stairs, any of that.
They decided on a Superior grain bin, although the folks at Superior were skeptical at first.
He said he has a few calls every year that people want to do this, but nobody ever does it. They were really surprised how it turned out.
The house is about 2,000 square feet on 2 floors.
It seems small from the outside, but once you step in, it seems much bigger.
The bin cost about $17,000, including installation. The Bachmans did most of the construction work themselves, keeping costs low.
I traded a lot of the work out. We didn't have to purchase a lot. It was quite economical. I mean, out of pocket, we were less than $100,000.
There were a few tricky things like figuring out how to install windows, electrical fixtures, and plumbing in a round structure.
Interviewed plumber after plumber, and we couldn't get one. We finally figured out what the issue was. They didn't know how to figure out where the plumbing should go because they're used to measuring from a square corner.
Even finishing details had to be adapted to the shape. Rope is used for ceiling trim, and every vent cover was custom designed and crafted.
We had to cut each one before we designed it because they're all different sizes.
The exterior is very low maintenance, and another plus, it's super energy efficient. Heating costs are less than $400 a year. And Bachman says the construction is sturdy enough to stand up to Minnesota weather.
We had 50, 60 mile an hour winds and you really didn't even know it was blowing inside.
The Bachmans are happy to be the shape of something new.
It is nice to be a little different than everyone else.
Near Brainerd, Minnesota, this is Rose Dunn for Ag Week.
The Bachmans are thinking about building more grain bin projects or consulting for others wanting to build one. Up next on AgweekTV, bad weather stalls the harvest for many around the region. And later we'll tell you about the new Precision Ag Center at SDSU.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Aspire is a premium delivery of boron. It's a potash source that has two forms of boron in it. One form of boron is available early in the crop needs, and then we have another form of boron that's more of a slow release. So throughout the whole growth stage or cycle of a crop, you need to teaspoon feed that crop, especially with these micronutrients. If you need to learn more about boron, what does boron do within the plant? So we have aspireboron.com. There's also cropnutrition.com.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
Field Drainage Inc. has perfected the art of agricultural drainage by helping hundreds of farmers since 1978. We are a second-generation family-owned business for over 35 years. The Field Drainage Inc. team will work closely with you to conduct a thorough analysis of your needs and expectations, provide an estimate that fits your budget, perform all work in a timely and professional manner, and provide continued service after installation. Field Drainage Inc., your trusted drain tile installation company for over 35 years.
Giving farmers access to data from the elevator right in their pocket, helping them make better decisions. No more keeping track of paper scale tickets. Innovation. It's always been a part of the farming culture. Integrating directly with elevators to give growers real-time information, all through a mobile app. Your elevator, powered by Bushel.
USDA's October supply and demand report was a mixed bag, with corn yield and production lowered, while soybean production was again a record. USDA lowered corn yield by 0.6 of a bushel, which lowered production, but ending stocks were still increased. However, that was below expectations. U.S. soybean yields were raised by 0.3 bushels per acre. Production was a record, and ending stocks were also increased by 40 million bushels from September. And USDA raised U.S. wheat ending stocks 21 million bushels, but lowered world carryover. Winter came early to the northern plains this week, disrupting the harvest. Snowfall totals of over a foot were reported as a major storm moved through parts of South Dakota and Minnesota and much of North Dakota. This will make harvest difficult, especially for soybean farmers.
Yeah, it's really hampered the harvest so far. It's probably going to be a week to 2 weeks before guys can get back at soybeans. If it were to dry up now, there's still a lot of harvest left.
Warmer weather is expected to enter the region next week, but it may take some time for fields to dry out with the cooler temperatures this time of year. Even before the snow, soybean producers in the region were facing a delayed harvest due to excessive and persistent fall rains. Kevin Wallevant has more.
Nobody is panicking yet, but this wet break mid-harvest has many soybean producers shaking their heads. Everyone is chomping at the bit. Some have started, then had to stop harvesting. Others are still waiting to begin. Adam Spellhog farms with his family near Kindred and is an agronomist with Peterson Farm Seed.
Talking to a couple guys remembering 2008, 2009, those are really ugly years. You know, we were combining soybeans the end of November on ice and waiting for it to freeze up. I don't think we're going to have that situation this year.
And it's not just field conditions that farmers are worried about right now. What kind of impact does all this rain have on the beans inside the pods?
Fields are too wet and the beans are too wet. You want to get them down to under 14% for storage. And with the way the market is and the prices are now, most guys are going to be putting them in the bin and storing them. So you want a good quality to keep that long-term storage.
An end to the rain is one thing, but getting those fields dry enough to combine has farmers pleading for some sun.
Farmers need to avoid harvesting in heavy snow as the stalks on soybean plants can collapse, leading to loss. Well, when can farmers get back in the field? Here's Andrew with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Taking a look at our past pattern breakdown from this past week, we've had this dip in this jet stream, this trough that is built in, and that has allowed that chilly and wet pattern to persist. But as we go throughout this week, we'll eventually see a large ridge building across the western U.S., and that's going to help usher in some more average temperatures as we go throughout this week. We are still dealing with some drier weather, though. Still looking at that drought monitor. Pockets of drier weather along and north of US 2 and across the portions of central and eastern South Dakota as well. But where the main drought still is across the Four Corners, and also still dealing with a severe drought across eastern Kansas and portions of Missouri. Precipitation this week overall, a good portion of the northern plains will be dealing with a dry week. We're looking at some precipitation early in the week, but overall I think we'll have a dry middle and end to this week compared to last week and the past several weeks. And well above average precipitation will be expected across the mid-Atlantic and eastern seaboard and across the portions of the deep south and southern plains for this upcoming week. Now, temperatures overall, much of the country will be dealing with at or below average temperatures. I think we'll see a cooler start to the week, but overall we'll start to see those temperatures moderating back up into the 50s for some in the northern plains as we head on into the latter half of the week with above average temperatures down across the Carolinas. And again, with that large ridge building in across the western U.S., that's going to usher in well above average temperatures for portions of Oregon and Seattle. So overall, we'll have that large ridge building in across the western U.S. this week. Drier week will continue with sunshine eventually returning as well, a much welcome sight for many of the farmers out there. And temperatures will gradually moderate from the 40s back up to the 50s across a good portion of the northern plains.
My name's Joel Kaler, owner-operator of Kaler Farms in Lidgerwood, North Dakota. We make a patented product called the Cornstalk Guide. It's made out of UHMW, ultra-high molecular weight poly, which is extremely durable. Typically what you'll see on corn heads is the idler chain in the sprocket sticks out. We attach to the side of a snout. Our product will keep all the wear off the snout and get it to come into the head smoother without bouncing.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
With the all-new GreenFit system from Rycard, plug and play is finally a reality when using John Deere AutoTrack guidance with existing new products like the Challenger 1000 series or all-new C-Series rogators from Butler Machinery. GreenFit is an authorized navigation interface that utilizes existing John Deere AutoTrack guidance system to steer most Challenger tractors and sprayers. GreenFit eliminates the worry of learning and converting to a new steering system when buying an industry-leading Challenger from Butler Machinery. Learn more about GreenFit at butlermachinery.com.
Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley source for Badco. Mayo Manufacturing, your Red River Valley Batco dealer.
Stein Seed Company is home to one of the most prolific, highest-yielding corn and soybean breeding programs in the world. When it comes to research, yield is what matters most. With the largest private soybean breeding program in the U.S. and the industry's most aggressive corn research, Stein is in a class of its own when it comes to developing new, higher-performing seed. Choose genetics. Choose results. Give Shane Kylo a call at 701-866-9864 to learn what Stein Seed can do for your operation.
AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Record soybean production and ending stocks combined with lower prices is forcing more farmers to store soybeans this fall. With the loss of sales to China due to tariffs and historically wide basis levels, farmers are storing to wait for better prices. Extension grain storage expert Ken Helleving says soybeans are tricky to store compared to other grains. He cautions against storing soybeans in bags because they need to be aerated and the temperature must be controlled, especially in the spring and summer. The beans can degrade quickly in poor storage conditions. The oil in the beans is also affected by both moisture content and temperature.
This year, if we're storing them into the summer, we're going to need to learn some new management strategies. We're going to have to keep them drier than what we probably have in the past and at a colder temperature. The cooler we can keep them, the longer and better they're going to store.
Helleving says even if the tariff issue is settled soon, the earliest soybeans could be on their way to China is next summer. The new Raven Precision Agriculture Center at South Dakota State University will benefit farmers across the state and region, but there will also be pluses for consumers and the economy.
3, 2, 1.
SDSU and industry teamed up on the $46 million facility, with Raven Industries investing $5 million.
As new graduates come out, we've got an opportunity to hire some of the best educated students in the world.
And they'll help farmers use precision agriculture to grow more food and feed sustainably.
Technology in agriculture enables you to use less product, less input, spend less time in the field, and increase your yield.
South Dakota Corn also contributed $5 million, and Council Chair Ryan Wagner says it will pay back big dividends.
This could be an additional economic impact of $35 million in profits for farmers, not only with reduced inputs and lowering costs, but also increased productivity.
SDSU President Barry Dunn says the facility will make South Dakota a national leader in precision ag.
I think we'll improve our relationships with consumers. I think we're going to improve our stewardship of our environment. I think we're going to improve the profitability of agriculture.
Representative Lee Qualm says funding the project was a heavy lift, but was a perfect public-private partnership.
Where everybody comes in on a project that everybody knows is what we need to do, and the public side is willing to throw in money, the private side is willing to throw in money. We put the two together and we make it happen.
Construction will start in the spring of 2019. Still ahead on AgweekTV, hay supplies are ample, but quality is low. We'll see what that means for prices.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Upgrade your trailer to electric with the Rolltech electric system from AgriCover. Strong, flexible pivot arms and motor mount rotate and telescope, allowing the roll tube to rise and flex over heaped loads. The positive automatic lock is impossible to back off to control the flow of grain. This integrated system uses one wireless remote to operate up to 10 tarps and hoppers, keeping your driver out of the dust, rain, and harm's way. See the Rolltech system in action at an AgriCover dealer near you.
Steffes. We have representatives everywhere. Through North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota, we can find a buyer for what you are selling. We know how to market your farmland or equipment. Give us a call. We'll sit down and tell you all about the Steffes way.
Big Boy Toys.
The AgweekTV Ag Tech Minute is brought to you by Bushel.
In this week's Ag Tech Minute, we learn about a new company using technology to help smaller ag companies grow.
Palindromes Inc. is an international holding company that was formed to do a project portfolio based on regional focus and help elevate those companies up into participating in a global platform. So we have multiple functions. Part of what Palindromes does is bring its operational system in to help the company grow. So some of that involves investment, some involves kind of comprehensive and branding globally, working through tariff issues, working through direct market access. So every region where we work with local regional companies. That's part of the Palindromes model. What we're working on is how we add other metrics into the measure beyond yield so that the farmer can receive premium payments for those metrics beyond just yield. Working with nutritionists and human consumers throughout not just the United States but the world to find that parallel between what the demand is in the consumer market globally and how we bring better premium and value back to the farmer.
Heavy rains throughout much of the upper Midwest have hurt hay quality this season. Paul McGill is owner of Rock Valley Hay Auction, one of the largest hay markets in the 5-state area of Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, and the Dakotas. He says hay supplies are ample, but much of the crop is very low quality, which is the opposite of last year. McGill says the first cutting was good, but excessive rain hampered the second and third cuttings.
And we've got a market for everything. It's just priced accordingly. You look at the hay this year, it's selling actually incredibly well for the condition of a lot of the hay. We do have wet and moldy hay. Obviously there's plenty of that around. There is some, a lot of average hay and a few select loads that'll make the cut.
Hay prices have been in a wide range due to the varying quality. McGill says the average price for alfalfa is around $120 a ton, while grass hay is averaging about $105 to $110 per ton. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or download the AgWeek app. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll see you next week.